Hello, this is BBC News and I'm Lucressa Burak. Now, 3 people have been arrested after employees at a Kenyan cheese factory were allegedly forced to undress to check who was on their period. A manager at Brown's Food Company assembled female workers to find out who'd thrown a used sanitary towel in an incorrect bin. She made the women strip down after attempts to get a confession were unsuccessful. Brown say that it has suspended the accused manager pending an investigation. Well, let's cross live to Gloria Orwoba, who is a Kenyan senator who campaigns to end shame about periods. That's rather understating it, isn't it, Gloria? Because earlier this year, you took your campaign straight to the floor and really shocked your peers.
Yeah, it's a very sad incident that happened there at that company, and I would say it's just one of the few that has been highlighted. You can be sure that there's so much more disappointing actions, extreme actions on period shaming that's going on. And I think that this serves as a learning point for different organizations in different industries, that it's time to actually implement the menstrual hygiene management policy that we have in Kenya.
Well, Gloria, you are a senator. All right, you have a platform, and yet when you painted your white trouser suit, particularly your white trousers, red to signify menstruating, could you just tell us what happened to you and what was said to you?
I did not paint my white pants. I actually was on my period, but I chose not to go back home and change my stained pants. And it was more in an effort to highlight that we have a lot of these talks to women and girls about being proud of their bodies, being proud about menstruating. But actually, when it happens, when you do get that accident, you have to walk the talk. And I think for me, what I experienced in Parliament during that moment of having to basically carry out my day with the stain that I had from my menstruation, I could feel what a lot of girls and women all over the world, not only in Africa, are feeling when they're being shamed for having their period. I am legislating on the same in terms of a bill that I have put out on access to free sanitary towels or menstrual hygiene products to schoolgirls and women in prisons. And I'm currently working with a few partners to basically break down the menstrual hygiene management policy that we have in Kenya in what it looks like. What does it look like for institutions, for corporates, for factories, for different entities, just like you have the fire safety measures broken down and implemented across different environments. So the same, I mean, I feel as though it is just timely that we actually ensure that this menstrual hygiene management policy that was launched a few years back is actually implemented.
I understand that the tax on period products was removed, if I understand that correctly, in 2017. But the access to these products for free for schoolgirls hasn't been entirely rolled out. Before we just touch on that, could you please remind us of 14-year-old Jacqueline Chempengeno?
Well, it's a sad story of Jacqueline Chempengeno. Was a 14-year-old girl who accidentally stained her uniform with her, as she started her periods. And because there's not been enough sensitization to different people, of course, the pupils were laughing at her. And then the teacher made some remarks that made her feel very ashamed. And the teacher asked her to go back home and change, which is literally what happened to me at the Senate, being asked to go and change. And unfortunately, at her age, and she couldn't bear the shame that she felt at that time. So she took her own life. And it's still an incident that is being looked into. I have written a letter to the Ministry of Education to try and ensure that the teacher that was involved gets some capacity building. There has to be a way that we have all the stakeholders involved.
Gloria, I'm sorry to interrupt, but thank you very much. Yeah, she was walking home, decided she couldn't face it, so she hung herself from a tree. Gloria Orwoba, thank you very much indeed. This is BBC News.